Okay, year two. So we have just looked at pictograms where one picture represents 5 items. So the pictogram that we looked at together, one picture, one triangle represented 5 books. So now we are going to create a different pictogram. And this pictogram shows how many books each class read. So how many books class 1, 2, 3, and 4 read. Now, before we start creating our pictogram, we need to know what the key is. So how much one picture represents. Well, here is our key for this pictogram. Now, how many books does one circle represent? Well, yes, look, one circle represents 10 books. So rather than last time where our picture represented 5 items, this time our picture represents 10 items. So we are going to need to count in tens, aren't we? So let me get my 100 square and we can count in tens together because I know that you're super duper at this. So you will wow me. Okay, you ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Fantastic, year two. Well done. I knew that you would be brilliant at counting in tens because you were brilliant at counting in fives earlier as well. So now that we know that each symbol, each picture represents 10 books, let's now start our pictogram. So let's have a look how many books class 1 read. Well, we know that when there's a diagonal line through the last 4 tally marks, we know that that represents 5 items. So let's count up in fives to work out how many books class 1 read. So 5, 10, 15, 20. They read 20 books. Now, is 20 in our 10 times table? Well, let's count up together in steps of 10 till we get to 20. 10, 20. Yes, it is in our 10 times table because we have counted up in tens and we have reached 20. Now, how many steps of 10 did I have to count to get to 20? Let me do it again. 10, 20. Yes, so I needed to count 2 steps. So if I know that one circle represents 10 books and that is 1 step, how many circles am I going to have to draw to represent 20 books? Well, let's find out. So I'm going to draw my first circle. And that first circle represents 10 books. Now let me draw another circle. Okay, so there's my next circle. So now I've got 10 books and 20 books. So there you go. I've had to draw 2 circles to represent 20 books that class 1 read because my first circle represents 10 books and then my second circle represents 20 books because 2 multiplied by 10 equals 20. Okay, let's have a look at class 2 now. So class 2, remember this represents 5 books. So we've got 5, count with me, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now is 25 in our 10 times table? Well, let's count up together in steps of 10. Are you ready? 10, 20, 30. Oh, we've gone past 25, haven't we? Because 30 is more than 25. So it's not in our 10 times table. Well, let me first of all draw some circles till I get to 20 because I know from last time that 20 is in the 10 times table. So I'm going to draw my first circle, which represents 10, and my second circle that represents 20. Now, what do I need to add to 20 to get to 25? Well, I need to add 5, don't I? Because 20 plus 5 equals 25. Now, how am I going to show this extra 5 on my pictogram? Could you pause the video and have a think? What did we do when we were having each picture representing 2? What did we do when we needed to only represent 1? Pause the video now and have a think. Okay, year 2. So when we had one picture representing 2 items, we just halved the picture to represent 1, didn't we? And let's have a look if we can apply this to our pictogram now. So we know that one circle represents 10 books, but we need to only represent 5 more books here. Well, what is half of 10? Yes, half of 10, so 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So therefore, I can draw a half circle to represent my 5 books that I need here, because if I did another full circle, that would be too many books. I just need a half circle because 20 plus 5 is 25, and my half circle represents 5. So we've got 25 books here. 10, 20, 25. And that is how many books Class 2 read. So now it's your turn. On your worksheet, Resource 1, you have this pictogram, and I would like you to complete this pictogram for me. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, Yeti, so let's go through the answers together. Well, let's have a look at Class 3 first. Now, Class 3, remember, each of these are 5. So 5, 10, 15. Now, is 15 in our 10 times table? Well, let's count together. Are you ready? 10, 20. Oh dear. Well, 20 is more than 15. So I've gone past 20. I've gone past 15. So therefore, 15 is not in our 10 times table. Well, I know that if I draw one circle, that represents 10 books. Now, how many more books am I going to need for 15 if I've already shown 10? Yes, 10 plus 5 equals 15. Now, how did I show 5 books on this part of the pictogram? Yes, I used a half circle, didn't I? Because half of 10, so half of a full circle, is 5. So I can draw half a circle to show 5 more books. There you go, there's my half circle. And here I've got 10 books. Add 5 books because half a circle represents 5 books. 10 plus 5 equals 15, and that's how many books Class 3 read. Okay, let's try the last one. So, how many books did Class 4 read? Well, here I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now, is 30 in our 10 times table? Well, let me count in steps of 10. I've got 10, 20, 30. Yes, this is in our 10 times table. So I can use just full circles for this one. And my first circle is going to represent 10 books. My second, 20 books. And my third, 30 books. So there we go. We have completed our pictogram, and well done if you got that right. So now it is your turn again. On resource 2, question 2, you have a pictogram where each picture represents 10 items. So could you pause the video now and have a go at that question? Okay, yeah, too. So now let's do some problem solving. So I'm going to share my screen with you again. Hopefully this works. There we go. So here is our first problem solving question. And it says, Sam is drawing a pictogram to show year 2's favourite author. Now, if we have a look at the key, one picture represents 10 children. So we know that we're going to be counting in tens in this question. So if we look at David Walliams, he has 2 circles next to his name, 2 pictures. So the first picture represents 10 children, and the second picture represents 20 children. Now, what does Sam say next? Well, Sam says, I must draw 15 circles to show 30 children. Prefer roll down. Well, we know that one picture represents 10 children. So there we go. There's our first picture, which represents 10 children. Now, we are counting in tens. So could you pause the video and have a go? How many more circles am I going to have to draw to show 30 children? Okay, year 2. So let's have a go. Well, if I add another circle, how many children will that be? Yes, that would be 20 children, won't it? Because one circle equals 10 children and 2 circles equals 20 children. Okay, now I need 30 children. If I add another circle, how many children will that represent? Well, my first circle represents 10 children. My second circle represents 20 children, and my third circle represents 30 children. So, oh, Sam wasn't right, was he? Because he said that we need to draw 15 circles to show 30 children, but we've drawn 3 circles to show 30 children because each circle represents 10 children. So we've got 10, 20, 30 children, and we've only done 3 jumps of 10. So therefore, he would only need 3 circles to represent 30 children because each circle represents 10 children. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Oh, okay, so Ben is drawing a pictogram where a circle equals 5 children. Now, he's already filled in science for us, and there are 4 circles. So how many children does that represent? Well, let's count up in fives 4 times. Are you ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. There we go. So we have 20 children whose favourite subject is science. Now let's have a look at his clues. Well, Ben knows more children like English than maths. So English is more popular than maths, but fewer children like English than science. Okay, so let's start by putting 1 circle in maths, which represents 5 children. Well, we know that English is more popular than maths. So if maths has 1 circle, are we going to be able to put 1 circle in English? No, we're not, are they? Because then they'd be equal, wouldn't they? And no, English is more popular. So let's put 2 circles for English. So therefore, we have 5 children who like maths. And how many children that like English? Yes, there are 2 circles, and the first circle represents 5 children, and the second circle represents 10 children because each circle represents 5. So we have to count up in steps of 5. Now, what about if I put 2 circles for maths? So therefore, we have 10 children for maths that prefer maths. What would we need to do to English now? Could you pause the video and have a think? Okay, Yeti. So we wouldn't be able to have 2 circles, 2 pictures for both maths and English because we know that English is more popular than maths, and at the moment they're equal. So we would need to add another circle to English to give us 3 circles. So that means that 10 children like maths because 5 is the first circle and 10 is the second. And we know that 15 children like English because the first circle is 5, the second circle is 10, and the third circle is 15. Now, can we add any more circles? Well, no. If we add another circle to maths, we'd have to add another circle to English, which would give us 4 pictures in English, and we have 4 pictures in science. But our question says fewer children like English than science. So we need to make sure that there's less circles for English than for science. And if we add another circle to English, it would be equal to science. Okay, fantastic. Well done, year 2. Well, now it is your turn. On your worksheet, resource 3, there are 2 questions that are similar to the ones that we have just done together. And when you finish that, if you'd like even more of a challenge, there is also an extension worksheet with 2 questions on that makes you compare a pictogram where a picture is 5 to a pictogram where a picture is 10. Okay, so have a lovely rest of your day, year 2, and I'll see you in our next maths lesson. Bye!